When we talk about the richest people in the world, we always hear the names of tech billionaires. But behind those headlines, there's a leader who's almost never mentioned. He is Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah of Brunei, the king of a small country on the island of Borneo. And he is the richest monarch in human history. From the immense wealth of oil and natural gas that sustains Brunei's economy, the kingdom also earns more than $20 million every day. For over 50 years of the Sultan's reign, he used the country's wealth to turn Brunei into a paradise. Education is free, medical services are free, and the citizens pay almost no taxes. Now, he has a net worth of $30 billion, which is even higher than the queens of Europe and the kings. But what's even more amazing is how he spends this enormous wealth. In this video, we'll take a look at the secrets of the King of Brunei. From palaces bigger than 10 football stadiums to his 7,000 cars, private jets, super yachts, and parties that cost millions of dollars each night. This is the life of the Sultan of Brunei, where luxury is not just a privilege but a part of his everyday life. But before we begin, don't forget to like this video. It means a lot to us content creators. Thank you very much, and now let's get started. For watching the rise of Brunei first, let's go back to where it all began. More than 100 years ago, Brunei was a quiet cluster of small villages along the coast of the tropical rainforest. Just like its neighbors Indonesia and Malaysia, the livelihood of the people of Brunei back then revolved around simple trading of spices, timber, and products from the forest. Their lives were peaceful until one day they discovered that there was literally wealth. In 1929, an explorer from the Shell Oil Company noticed a strange black liquid seeping through the mud near a river. When examined, they were shocked to find it was oil, a discovery that would change the country's fate. By the 1960s, even before the current sultan took the throne, hundreds of oil wells were already gushing literal wealth out of the ground. And Brunei's treasury was filling up at a rate the country had never experienced before. By the 1970s, when oil prices soared worldwide, Brunei's economy also exploded with prosperity. Their gross domestic product growth reached over 25% per year, almost doubling every year. That's how fast they became wealthy. The once quiet town suddenly turned into a golden paradise. There are palaces that sparkle day and night, and almost all citizens receive assistance from the government. And in the midst of all this, the Sultan and his advisors held all the power. In just a few decades, Brunei went from a forgotten corner of Asia to one of the 10 richest countries in the world based on income per citizen. But more than wealth, the true secret of the Sultan is power. As an absolute monarch, it means he himself holds the entire government. He doesn't need elections or a Congress. All he needs is a council of advisors who follow his every command. Every word of the Sultan within Brunei carries the weight of a command from God. All decisions about the national wealth, especially oil and natural gas, go through him. Brunei's oil industry is like the Sultan's personal company worth trillions of dollars. Any agreement between Brunei and foreign companies, from hydrocarbon drilling to liquefied natural gas export, cannot be implemented without the Sultan's own signature. He also approves the budgets for additional oil exploration and sets the country's policies, which always favor the stability and interests of his family. Every day, Brunei exports almost 160,000 barrels of oil to various countries, and almost all of its earnings go directly under the control of the Sultan. In addition, he also holds most of the shares and ownership of other businesses in the country, from energy to large companies. This is how the story of the richest king in the world began. A leader who holds power, wealth, and an entire country in his hands. Brunei's oil and gas industry. In Brunei, almost all of the largest businesses, from the Brunei Investment Agency Royal Brunei Airlines, construction companies, to exclusive rights to sell luxury car brands, are owned directly by the Sultan's family. Yes, Bolkiah literally has his fingers in every profitable business in the country. In short, all of Brunei's earnings from oil go directly to the state's treasury. The Sultan controls the state's treasury. On top of that, even private companies in the commercial sector are also controlled by his family. This means that no money flows in Brunei without passing through them. So if you think about it, the foundation of their family's wealth is even stronger than steel. And now that we know how they control the entire economy, it's time to take a look at how the Sultan's family spends their enormous wealth, from palaces bigger than 10 football stadiums to animal collections that can rival the largest zoos in the world. So get ready, because if you think you've already seen luxury, we're just getting started. Daily Palace Overview. Welcome to the home of the richest king in the world, the official residence of the Sultan of Brunei, called Istana Nurul Iman, which means Palace of Light. Just from the name alone, you know this isn't just any ordinary residence. And if you just call it a mansion or a palace, that would be a huge insult, because Istana Nurul Iman is not just luxurious. This is actually the largest residence on the entire planet. It sits on a high hill overlooking the capital of Brunei and its vast forests. It has a total area of over 2 million square feet and approximately 1,800 rooms, which are spread across 3 buildings with golden domes. Just to compare, this is even bigger than most airport terminals in the world. Buckingham Palace in the United Kingdom has 775 rooms, and the White House in America has only 132. But this Sultan's palace is big enough to fit both of those inside. And if we add the Palace of Versailles in France, there would still be extra space. The surprising detail here is that the Sultan himself had the Istana Nurul Iman built just to make it 3 times bigger than the Palace of Versailles. After he found out that it held the record as the largest palace in the world, yes, you heard that right, just because of pride and competition, the Sultan spent billions of dollars to make sure he had the largest royal residence in history. The moment you step inside this palace, which is listed in the Guinness Book of World Records itself, you feel overwhelmed by luxury with every step. Every corner sparkles with luxurious designs and materials sourced from different parts of the world. It is estimated that hundreds of millions are spent each year on the renovation and maintenance of this palace. Just imagine, it's like combining 1,000 hotel rooms from a 7-star resort and pumping them up with royal steroids. There are 24,000 ceilings. The doors are made of Brazilian wood with sterling silver inlays. And the carpets are woven using golden silk threads, sometimes even embedded with diamonds. There are floors made of marble with semi-precious stones embedded in them. And in every room, crystal chandeliers hang, sparkling like stars at night. According to a legend, there was a government official who fainted at first sight inside the palace because of the overwhelming. As the locals say, if you compare it to the Palace of Versailles, it would just look like an IKEA showroom. And the truth is, we haven't even started with the most intense part yet. Because the secrets inside the luxurious pleasure fortress of the Sultan of Brunei are even more astonishing than anything you can imagine. Sultan's headquarters. As you go deeper into the palace, more and more details emerge that seem to be taken straight out of a legend. Here you will find special wings of the building reserved only for visiting leaders and foreign dignitaries. Each features over 200 luxury suites managed by top global hospitality brands. Inside these, there are air-conditioned private reception rooms for diplomatic meetings with strict security. There are facilities for secure video conferences and communication systems capable of connecting to different parts of the world. On the lower floors, there are living quarters for the hundreds of staff who run this palace like an entire city. It is said that the staff quarters are even bigger than an average apartment complex. In other parts, there are spacious halls filled with Brunei's most valuable treasures, artifacts, ancient treasures preserved in temperature-controlled rooms so they won't deteriorate over time. As you ascend to the central part of the building, you'll be greeted by a grand staircase draped in luxurious Italian silk. It spans 5 floors, and each golden banister was carved by skilled Indonesian artisans. No expense was spared, no compromise was made. Every detail screams of grandeur. No expense was spared, even outside the palace. It's as if you've entered a private resort paradise. There are Olympic-sized swimming pools, tennis courts, badminton zones, and children's playgrounds. Everything is more beautiful and grander than professional sports complexes. There are gardens filled with exotic flowering trees and dancing fountains that seem to have their own dance in the air. There are also royal polo fields and man-made beaches where fine white sand is brought in from other countries. All of these, according to the royal decree, are reserved only for the Sultan's family. But the real secret of the palace is in its central part, a place that employees call the power room. According to rumors, this is the secret conference room that only the Sultan and his closest children are allowed to enter. Here you can find one of the most unique collections of chandeliers in the world. On its ceiling, there are more than 3,000 crystal and diamond chandeliers sparkling in the light, a sight that captivates anyone who sees it. But that's not all. There are also advanced telecommunications equipment here that the Sultan uses for global video conferences and even for real-time military tracking of his armed forces. In short, no expense was spared in building the Sultan's headquarters. It is a modern command center wrapped in luxury, the very heart of his kingdom. And even if you explore every corner of Istana Nurul Iman every day, it seems you still wouldn't be able to take in all the wealth and grand details inside it. But the Sultan doesn't own just one palace. After this palace, there are even more that are expected to amaze us. From his other mansions and palaces in different parts of the world, these are part of the vast property portfolio of the $30 billion monarch. In the Sultan's other palaces, while the Istana Nurul Iman Palace serves as the official residence and government center of Brunei, it's surprising to think that the 125,000 square meter palace is just one of the many properties owned by the Sultan. Throughout the kingdom, which is divided into 16 districts, there are more than 12 other sprawling palaces and luxurious estates owned by the Sultan's family. Most of these are given to the queens, princes, princesses, and other members of the royal family. All are maintained using state funds. Although nothing can match the size of Istana Nurul Iman, its other palaces are almost on par with 5-star resorts in terms of architecture and luxury. One of these stands on the northern coast of Brunei, a sparkling compound with 700 rooms exclusively used for royal vacations. The villas here each have their own air-conditioned stables for expensive horses and spacious garages for their collection of vehicles. Right next to it is the massive parking facility that can accommodate 30,000 cars, part of the family's car fleet worth approximately $4 billion. Inside the mansions, you wouldn't know if you're living in a resort or a theme park. There's an indoor roller skating rink, private cinemas with reclining massage chairs, badminton courts, helipads, artificial lakes, and even mini water parks, with synchronized dancing fountains, all built without limits, just for the entertainment and relaxation of their royal family. Inside Brunei, there is a massive palace with 100 guest rooms exclusively used for royal business symposiums and lavish gatherings of foreign diplomats. The 5-story building has annexes where more than 100 chefs and members of the orchestra band live, serving at events. And that's not even the end of it. There are more than a dozen country manors, ranch estates, and modern hilltop villas distributed among the various princes and princesses of the family. Each mansion is equipped with the latest smart home technology, indoor basketball courts, cinema rooms, and chandeliers in every room. This is the reality of being a king in Brunei. Almost every child or sibling grew up with their own multi-million-dollar mansion, even more luxurious than the houses in Beverly Hills. But if you think their wealth is only within the country, you'll be surprised at the extent of their global mansion collection. As one of the richest royal families in history, the Bolkiah family never stops buying real estate and hotel properties on different continents. They own an entire street of 10-bedroom villas in Kensington Palace Gardens in London, a vast castle in Scotland where the movie Gladiator was filmed, and a Spanish estate that used to be the residence of kings in the 1800s. They also own a dozen ski chalets in the Swiss Alps, and even the Beverly Hills Hotel in Los Angeles belongs to them, after they bought it for over $100 million. They also own several famous hotels such as The Planet, Casa in New York, Hôtel de Paris in France, and Hotel Roquet. These hotels, which were once postcard landmarks of the world, now simply serve as the Sultan's vacation houses when he travels abroad. And if that's not enough, they also have tropical private islands near Australia's Gold Coast and Malaysia's coastline, where villas worth multi-millions of dollars each are built. In cities like London, Paris, and Switzerland, there are 100-room royal suites always reserved for them anytime they want to travel or go shopping abroad. Now, with a net worth of over $20 billion, their assets around the world continue to grow. The luxury of this family has become a symbol of wealth and power, a life that no ordinary person could ever attain. Whether it's summer in the French Riviera, winter on the slopes of Switzerland, or just a weekend at their Beverly Hills mansion, they always have a home, or rather, a palace, waiting for them. All of this is possible because of the wealth that comes from the oil and gas of their country, Brunei, a fortune that continues to fuel the luxurious life of the Sultan's family. The world's largest car collection. If you think the Sultan's palaces and properties are already too much, wait until you hear this, because he also owns the largest car collection in the world. More than 7,000 luxury vehicles, including over 500 ultra-rare cars, from famous brands like Rolls-Royce, Ferrari, Porsche, Lamborghini, and Koenigsegg, with a total value of over $4 billion. This isn't just an ordinary car collection. In Brunei, there are special facilities built just to house the Sultan's luxury vehicles, garages with air conditioning, security systems, and special mechanics who are paid $2 million per year to make sure each one is spotless. Around his palace, there are more than 110 such facilities used for the family's vehicles, while there are 5 more in the capital that serve exclusively as parking for their cars. Around his palace, the collection includes one-of-a-kind Rolls-Royce Phantoms with 24-karat gold finishes, pre-World War classics, and modern supercars that were literally customized according to the Sultan's whims. Manufacturers like Ferrari and Lamborghini create special models for him, no matter how expensive or how impossible the request may be. In fact, many of the cars are only used once, then stored for life in the garage. For the Sultan, who earns millions of dollars every day from oil, having a multi-billion-dollar car museum is just a simple hobby. Aviation collection and assets. But the luxury doesn't end here. Because of the number of his palaces and properties all over the world, the Sultan also has his own aviation fleet. A massive collection of private Boeing jets, Sikorsky helicopters, and other state aircraft. The Royal Brunei Airlines, which is also owned by the family, has Boeing Dreamliners that have been turned into flying palaces. There are private living rooms, suite showers, and chef's kitchens where food like lobster and caviar are personally cooked while in the air. Italian designers made the seats. There are 40-inch monitors and fully reclining beds for every family member. This isn't just a jet. These are airborne fortresses with automated disaster suppression systems and missile defense technology to protect the king while traveling. Within Brunei, they use their own Sikorsky helicopters to fly between the 16 districts, and there are 2 private hangars reserved for more than 100 aircraft, ranging from jets to propeller planes and very important person transport choppers. In total, the Sultan owns up to 120 aircraft, putting him at the top of the list of those with the largest private aviation fleet in the world, the Sultan's yachts. And of course, if he has a palace on land, he also has a kingdom at sea. The Sultan's yacht collection is worth over $500 million, and each one is like a floating castle on the ocean. The highlight of this is the Taj Mahal of yachts. The Tajem Sultan, a $500 million super yacht that is 165 meters long. Its 4 floors have 2 grand reception halls, 12 luxury suites with a 180-degree ocean view, and furnishings made by Italy's top design houses. The hallways are painted with gold leaf, have chandeliers made by Francis Baccarat, and aquariums filled with rare fish from different parts of Asia. But its most famous centerpiece is a solid gold spiral staircase that wraps around a glowing aquarium, a scene straight out of a movie. But beyond that, he also has an even bigger yacht. The Prince Abdul Wahab, this ship that costs $650 million, is 211 meters long and is considered the largest residential superyacht in the world. Because of its size, no port in the world can accommodate it. That's why it was built with retractable anchors and its own deep water terminal in Brunei. Inside, there's a concert hall with a revolving stage and seating for hundreds of people, gold leaf elevators, atriums full of fish, ballrooms, dozens of dining halls, and even garages for the custom Rolls-Royce convertibles that the Sultan uses in the middle of the sea. Whether at sea, in the air, or on the road, the luxury of the Sultan of Brunei is unmatched. His possessions seem like a collection of all of humanity's dreams, and all of these are powered by the endless wealth from the oil and gas of his kingdom. Businesses and assets. As the absolute ruler of the government of Brunei, and with control over the revenues from oil and gas, the Sultan runs his country like a massive global holding corporation. Under his leadership, Brunei is not just a kingdom. It is a business that generates billions of dollars every year. It combines commerce and Islamic principles that emphasize charity and social welfare. To the chairman of the Brunei Investment Agency, who manage an international portfolio worth over $40 billion, with investments in various sectors around the world. The income from this is returned to Brunei's economy and is also used to purchase 5-star hotels and luxury resorts in major destinations in Europe, America, and Asia. Aside from this, the family members also have their own businesses outside the country. Prince Martin has his own tech company called Swag Tech, estimated to be worth $15 billion. Prince Iman, on the other hand, owns a film production house in Hollywood, while Princess Ma owns a luxury skincare brand. In addition, they also own businesses in brands such as Rolls-Royce, Cartier, and Ducati, with franchises and dealerships all over Asia. The Sultan's family can be considered an entrepreneurial dynasty, spanning from technology and fashion to hospitality and the automotive industry. All of these generate billions in revenue every year, and all of it goes back into their pockets to fund their family's luxurious lifestyle, which seems unaffected by any economic crisis. Lavish events and outrageous spending. As the richest monarch in the world, the Sultan never settles for any ordinary celebration. Occasions like royal birthdays, anniversaries, and state visits are held inside his vast palace. It's even bigger than 10 football stadiums. For every celebration, thousands of people are invited. A 100-person team is dedicated to decorations. From floral arrangements and couture draping to musical choreography and fine dining setup, the flowers are imported daily from different countries. It costs over $20 million each day just to replace the flowers at every base in the palace. When there are visitors from other countries, there's a 1-hour-long red carpet procession with flower necklaces, perfume, and expensive gifts. Afterwards, they are escorted inside the golden corridors of the palace. It's a scene straight out of an Arabian fantasy film. The food is not just ordinary food either. Each dish contains the most expensive ingredients in the world, from Italian truffles, Russian caviar, Kobe Wagyu beef, to rare tropical delicacies. And for entertainment, it's not just local bands performing, but international superstars like Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston singing live in front of a few hundred select guests. Each performance costs up to $5 million. A private airplane flight is included. Afterwards, inside the palace, during his Golden Jubilee, he held a 2-week celebration attended by more than 3,000 guests. There were sports tournaments, a global business summit, and a music festival where he even had a custom Ferris wheel shipped from the United Kingdom just to entertain the foreign guests. And of course, this doesn't even include his personal luxuries. About $250,000 dining events with 20-pound billiards, Luga caviar, and 24-karat gold Kobe steak, $500,000 cakes decorated with jewels, about $10 million custom diamond watches, jewel-encrusted handbags, and solid gold eyeglass frames from Italy. He also has 100 personal masseurs and fitness coaches, a dedicated chef on standby, and a full-time orchestra that plays whenever he wants.